What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this time it's a pretty interesting video because you don't see a car like this too often. So this is a 1981 Porsche 911 Safari car. It's really interesting, so let's just go ahead and show you guys the car. So this car is super unique because Alex here, the owner, has done something that most 911 owners don't tend to do. So with most 911s, the owners will just keep the car in the garage or do like a nice street build on it and just keep it really pristine and original. But Alex here has gone with a different approach. So he's not really afraid to take the car off-road. And as you can see, we literally put it in this pretty cool spot here with like all these branches, you know, in grass just scratching up against the car, and it's very anti what, you know, the typical 911 owner would do. So Alex, I just want to ask you,
we call those beauty marks.
Beauty marks. Yeah,
beauty
I mean it does add character, but Alex, I want to ask you, what made you want to do this to your 911 versus like a truck or just any other thing that's like really designed to be for off-road?
Well, there's really no pinpoint explanation as to why I did this. I thought it was like a really cool idea to do. I just thought it was so cool, so sick. And it's not something you really see every day. Like as you said, most people, what they do is they stick larger motors in there, they bore them out, and then they track them, or they lower the stance, or they do all this stuff. Pretty much eliminating a lot of places they can go, because you have to go over curbs, you have to go over, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
over
exactly.
Curbs and all that stuff.
Literally everything that the car isn't made for.
This can jump over curbs with ease.
Yeah.
This can, you know, look at us. We're in the marsh right now. We're backed up in a marsh on these 16-inch wheels.
So are these a different size than the actual like overall diameter of a factory wheel that you had on the car?
Yes. These are 16x7 wheels on all four sides, so 16 inches, 7 inches wide, on I think 215 by 65 tires, and they are BF Goodrich KO2 tires, which you'd normally see on trucks.
That's so
that kind
sick.
of stuff.
That's like, it's so cool though, because it's a Porsche, like a Porsche sports car.
On truck tires.
And it's on truck tires. Like, I think that's literally the coolest thing ever. Like, what more could you want out of it? It's so, like, what's the word I'm looking for that's like out of typical norms. Like, you know, you have like your typical 911 builds, and this is like not it.
Extraordinary. That's such a weird word to describe my vehicle as,
yeah.
But it's...
I mean, that's what it is. But it's so cool. And then you also have this livery. So tell us about this livery that you've done to the car.
Yes. This is a very unique livery that I had to design myself. I took inspirations from a 1970s Le Mans car that raced in Le Mans, but unfortunately crashed. But they had this really unique Porsche Club of America with these really iconic stripes or arrows pointing down to the hood. And I saw that. I tried to emulate it as much as I could. And what I essentially did was I found images on Google. I looked at them, I put them all in Photoshop, and then I hand created all of them in Illustrator and then had them printed up for me.
That is so cool.
So every single sticker you see on here, I have designed / recreated to be printed on this car.
That is the coolest thing ever.
Including this, that, my name here.
Wow. I mean, that even adds so many bonus points to the uniqueness of this car. So not only is this car unique because you're off-roading a Porsche, right, but it's unique because you have literally your own livery on your car. Like, no one else has a livery like this, right?
Right. You'll not see this anywhere else on the road.
Exactly. And well, let alone having a livery in general. Like, most people don't have liveries on their car, but I do think this is super sick.
You know what else most people don't have on their cars?
What's that?
4 extra lights.
That's true. So tell us about these lights, because it's just so cool. So now, tell us what was on here factory, and then what did you add or like change to it?
Factory. Wow. None of this was here factory. This was here and that was there, and that's about it. And that's just low beam, high beam, turn signals.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
But these were clear from the factory.
These were clear
correct?
at the factory, yes. I did switch them to what you'd call amber lights, and then I put tape across it to protect it against, you know, if it shatters on the road or something like that.
That is just the coolest thing.
It's less functional to me, but more of I like the look,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Well, I think definitely like being able to do what you like to your car is just so cool.
Exactly.
I mean, this is like totally like, this is the definition of you did what you wanted. This is what you wanted with your car. No one can say otherwise. This is what makes you happy. And this is literally your vision. And here it is in person.
Yep.
It's so cool to see it here.
Now, these lights here, these are replica CB Palace lights. And it's what they put basically on Le Mans and rally cars back in the 60s, 70s, all the way up to the 80s. And it's sort of like a harken back to that old style. And I think they're really cool.
Oh, wow. So they even like have caps to them.
Yeah. These are protective covers to protect them from shattering on the road when they're not in use.
Yeah.
And I've also put yellow lenses in there to match the headlights.
That is the coolest thing
along
ever.
with the tape.
So all I guess that's 6 of them, right? They're all yellow, correct?
And yeah, there's CB Oscar Pluses on the bottom with this thing right here was so hard to find on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this lens, I can't tell you how hard they're find. I bought all of what the guy had, which was 4 sets. So trying to find these here is hard. Like from my knowledge, finding one with just yellow on it is impossible. But if you come in closer here, you see it actually has a yellow bulb in there. So whenever it actually shines, it looks yellow whenever you see it.
That is the
And these also have caps, but they're in the car right now.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So like all of them are yellow, and like you said, they have caps. And I love like what you did with like the X shape on them, like with the tape. It's so cool. And it's like that classic rally car look. And then moving along with everything that you have on it, you also have this spare tire on the roof. So tell us about that, because that's like so cool to see on a car like this.
So this tire rack is something you'd normally see on a mid-60s 911, late 60s. They offered it as an option. But what this is, it's a replica tire rack, or luggage rack is what they call it. It was an optional extra, but this is a recreation of that, powder coated in black with replica stickers on it. And this is what I use to carry my spare tire, which is, excuse me, if you can look closely, you can't even tell, like from the side or from anywhere else, that it's actually tied down.
Yeah.
You can only really tell from the top.
Exactly.
And the spare is the same 16x7.
Because from my angle right here, I can't tell how it's being held down, and that's super cool. It is held down like you said with the straps, but that is so cool. I mean, it really flows with the car, and I love to say this with any cool car that I find that really has this, is your car needs to flow. Like, in my opinion, a car that just has everything flow is just a really solid build. With this car, everything has that like safari rally car look, and it's just so cool. So like the headlights and then the roof rack with the spare tire, it's super cool, and I think it's really a nice looking car.
It's something you'd see in the 1978 rally cars that they raced back in the day.
So these were actually pretty common, right? Like in the 70s and 80s to be turned into rally?
People in the late 70s, early 80s didn't really, I guess, normal street people, normal citizens, they would never do this. This is something that even the Porsche factory they didn't really like to do. Like, they had to be convinced by several teams to do it. And eventually in 1978, they made something similar to this. Now, the suspension setup on this, it has a custom front with lowered and re-welded spindles, which is how they did it back in 1978. Rothmans was the company that did that. And then back here, same deal. The suspension has been heightened in the rear, as you can see. And it is a Euro car as well, so it's very much how it would be then.
So then, does that mean this car was imported into America?
Yeah, it was imported in the late 80s.
That's so cool.
It's an 81 car.
Nice. So how long have you had the car?
About 9 months.
That's awesome.
9 months.
So 9 months of ownership, and here it is, literally turned into a rally car.
This is about 6 months in the making.
Wow. So 6 months of work to have it look like this, and that's so cool. And then like going along with the livery and like the whole flow of the car, talk about these bumpers. So it looks like you've got the front bumper, the side skirts, and then also the rear bumper, and I guess the wheels as well, done in this white. So is that paint, or what is that?
It is paint, technically. It's 20% satin powder coat all around. I did that so when I'm going through brush, or when I'm going through like a dirt road or something like that, or any rock chips, it's a little better protected than, say, normal gloss single stage paint up here. See, you don't really have to worry about clear coat all that stuff, it's just done. It's more rugged, it's more reliable. If it needs to be resprayed, it could be resprayed very cheaply as compared to that.
I really love your mindset with this car, is that like you're literally just enjoying the car for what it is. You're not worried about, oh, is it gonna get scratched or whatever. You're really just
that's the least of my concerns.
Yeah, so you're literally just using the car for fun, like literally just a pure enjoyment. And that's literally what these cars are made for. They're really raw cars. They're very pure and simplistic in their design. It's just really cool. Like, I literally think the coolest thing about this car is just the idea that you're taking a car that's fairly low from the factory and turning it into a rally car.
Complete 180.
Like, yeah, like totally opposite of what it's made for.
For some, I guess, clarification, the stock ride height would have probably sat around here. Like, this fender would probably be around where this tread is.
Yeah, and keep in mind that would have been with a different tire.
With the tires, yeah, the last tire was probably about that thick.
Mm-hmm.
That was Pirelli P800, it was something like that. It was a summer tire. And the tires I had before they weren't stock either. They were real Fuchs wheels. They were, I think, 15 by 7s and 15 by 8s in the rear. And these are 16 by 7s all around.
So then, are these like Porsche wheels? Because they do look similar to like what you'd find stock. Like what
yeah,
wheels
they are
these?
real. They are real Porsche Fuchs.
That is.
And trying to source all of them in this size was really difficult as well.
Wow.
Because they only offered, I think, 16 by 7s as a front wheel option. So not a lot of people had 4 as a set. So I had to find one from one person, 2 from another, 1 from one guy, and then 1 from someone else, since I had to buy 5 as a spare.
That's really interesting. I think literally one word that I could use to describe this car would be rare. I would have to go with either rare or unique, because let alone the parts on the car being rare, this type of car is rare. Like
not a lot of people do this.
Exactly. Like,
you gotta be kind of crazy up here to, want to do that,
Maybe. I mean, it's interesting because like, so my 8.6 over there, it's literally like what you would expect out of an 8.6. It's lowered, it has wider wheels and tires, and like a lip kit. This is far from that, because what's actually interesting is we talked earlier, and I like to compare a lot of cars, and I like to compare the 8.6 to a car like this. Now, yes, I know they're completely different, but the idea of them is similar when they're in stock form. They're just raw cars that are fun to drive, and especially with this one being a manual, it's super down to machine, I guess you could say. Like, it's just very
raw
one with the machine. There's a lot of words you can use to describe it, but it's just very simple and just fun to drive, and it's just so cool.
There's not a lot of technology in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
That distracts you from the road.
So exactly, so talking about that, let's move on to the interior. So it looks like you've got some aftermarket seats in here, so tell us about those.
Yes, these are Recaro pole position seats wrapped in leather and suede.
Wow.
Now, mind all the junk in there, it's just a wallet and some few things, but...
That's fine. So, whoa, even like an aftermarket steering wheel?
Yep, that's a Mod 07 Momo wheel. It's a little bit deeper dish, I think 45 millimeter dish, I forget the exact specifics, with some Schroth 5-point harnesses to complete the race rally look, and to keep me safe when I'm on the trails, of course. But I still have the stock seatbelt when I want to be comfy.
Nice. So is that back seat still usable with these new seats?
I removed the back seat. I mean, if you want to climb back there, you can. It'd be really fun watching you get in and out.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it. But no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But it's still really cool. Like, I just think, like, on an older car like this, having this new leather here with the suede inserts is so nice. Once again, everything in here just flows. You can see the suede steering wheel with the suede on the seats. It looks really good with the leather, and then also Recaro's logo just adds a bit of extra quality to it, and I think it looks really good. So there you have it. That was Alex's 1981 Porsche 911 Safari car. It's super cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I hope it inspires you guys to think outside of the box for your builds and just have fun with it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you just want to have fun with it. But for now, if you enjoyed the video and want to see many more just like it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.